This is the only black theater remaining in Oklahoma City. Living as close as I did to the 4th Street, my parents would always allow me to come down here to the theater. At the time, there were all sorts of businesses down here. Not just a theater, there was cleanesses, shoe shine stands, pool halls, restaurants. So there was a lot of activity on 4th Street at the time.
I remember going here when I was younger. Dad would give us like about 35 cents. We'd get soda and popcorn until the theater closed.
The person that ran the movie at the theater at the time that I was coming down here was Clinton Newton. So over the years, I got to know him and his wife well. And after the theater closed, I purchased the theater from him in the late 70s. And I've had it ever since.
The Jewel Theater is a Black cultural asset here in the Northeast Oklahoma City community. And something that we've noticed as BlackSpace and just a trend historically is how our Black spaces are being erased from the built environment. BlackSpace Oklahoma is a collective of planners and architects, designers, community activists, people who are really passionate about Black community spaces and really telling these stories, preserving the history, and making sure that Black projects are supported in our community.
We wanted to come alongside and support Mr. Hurst, the owner of the Jewel Theater, to allow Mr. Hurst to realize that dream of restoring this property and then letting it itself become another catalyst for development along this corridor.
The challenge is a lot of people don't know that this building is here. A lot of young Black people don't know that this building is here. It's a challenge getting there.
I grew up right here, driven down the street several times, and never knew what this was. I never got to see it open in its glory. And as a filmmaker here in Oklahoma City, it would be massively cool to be able to premiere films here. I could see the space being used for multiple things. Really, Black excellence being on display here.
My desire is to, like I say, is to have this theater renovated to a point that I can have live entertainment in here, film, and maybe have Black film festivals in here. And at the same time, I'd show some of the old Black movies that were out when I was young.
In 2009, it became a National Historical Site. And I'd want to see it as a theater. You know, we don't have a whole lot in the Northeast community that is considered historical. A lot of things have been torn down.
When the spaces that we can see have been eradicated, then we don't reinforce the next generation. We can tell stories, but something happens when I can physically go to that space and know that this was where my ancestors got married. This is where they went to the movies. It reinforces our significance and it reinforces the contributions that we've made to society. And so therefore, our children are encouraged and reinforced that they too can do greater things. This is why we need to save the Jewel Theater.
The building it needs to be completely renovated, and the equipment and what have you. It's estimated to be around $2 million to get the building up and going. Hopefully we can, at some point in time, get to use the tax credits in the renovation of the building.
This space is vitally important to filmmaking in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma, the state period. I think because the building is still standing in its historical nature, I think it allows for us to dream really big and push really far and have, again, a whole industry be birthed here in Oklahoma.
My grandkids can't wait for it to open. I have one that wants to work here, so when she's old enough. So I think it's important to save it for them.